So whenever I do a video about Viking Age combs, I get the whole teeth hard cut, teeth always snap, blah blah comment. And I get it, but there are a number of things that we need probably addressing here. In that, number one, if you're getting teeth snapping a lot, it's likely two things. How many combs have you made? If it's your first, third, fifth comb, you've made 5 of something. You're not very good at it yet. It takes a long time. It takes practice. This is quite skilled work. Come back when you've made 50 or 100, and then if you're still crap, then maybe there's a problem. But that's not necessarily very constructive. I mean, it's frustrating when you snap one because it takes a long time. So we need to look at two things: materials and then the tools. Materials. Are you using bone? Stop using bone if you're using bone. Use red deer antler. Reindeer antler if you can get it, but red deer antler. Any antler is better. Even if you've got roe deer, you can't get very good pieces off roe deer, but use antler instead of bone. You'll get told it's the same material by a lot of people. It is, in theory, but it's really not in practice. Red deer is a lot easier to cut. A reindeer generally is a lot easier to cut. It's a lot stronger, so it will, put up with you sawing it a lot more. It'll also put up with being dropped and used a lot more. That's why they primarily used deer antler rather than bones themselves. The second thing is the tools. So what you want is a saw, preferably a fairly new one with nice sharp teeth. As many teeth per inch as you can get, really. 24 is great, 24 teeth per inch if you can get it, but you can cut with 18 and stuff, that's fine, doesn't matter. I'd also look for a deeper saw, so a shallower saw like this coping saw here, you can cut teeth with it, but it's harder work. If you get a saw like this, the deeper blade, that is much, much better. If you know anybody who has a bandsaw, if they're old bandsaw blades, normally they get changed quite frequently, or if one snaps, you can get them and cut them into short sections and use those. Those are great. You can use a bandsaw itself if you want with 24 teeth per inch, but I would suggest there is a technique to using a bandsaw to cut teeth. You need to support the teeth underneath them, and you need to be careful because the vibrations of the blade can wobble the tooth, so you need to be careful how you pull the bandsaw blade out. And do wear goggles and things like that because they're fairly dangerous. But yeah, look at materials. Make sure you're using antler first of all, and make sure you've got plenty of teeth per inch, a nice new sharp saw, and make sure you brace your work too. Like in the last video on my TikTok channel, you'll see I used a little groove and a stump, so just putting it in a vise isn't necessarily that helpful. You really want to get your hands in there and hold it, and just take it easy and practice. You'll get there.